Welcome to my Wealthonomics channel. My name is Gustavo Pinheiro. Today, I'm going to be actually reviewing some of these TikTok mindset gurus, and I'm going to give you my opinion on what they're doing. And maybe there may be some good things that they may be saying, and maybe they may not. So let's look at the first one.
It took me 4 years to learn what I'm about to teach you in the next minute and a half. It is never too late to reinvent yourself. You can decide that everything you have done up until this point in your life is irrelevant. You can choose today, right now, to start a completely new book, because your past does not have to equal your future.
Now, this is very important. I'll give it to her. Your past does not equal your future. And I would tell you this much, because a lot of times we have it that we create our past and we take our experiences from our past and we put it in our future, and we have to live into that future. We punish ourselves from past things that have not given us the results that we want. Similarly, sometimes we also try to inherently give ourselves more kudos than we necessarily deserve because we've performed a certain amount in our past, and then we think that that's going to dictate our future. That's not necessarily true. You have to keep on taking what you've learned from your past, and then you implement it to create a new future. Let's go on and see what else she says.
Unless you choose to live there. For years, I thought the identity that I was creating in the early stages of my 20s was going to be the identity I was going to have for the rest of my life. And it just doesn't have to be that way. I heard this quote from Tony Robbins, and it has just completely shaken my world. He says, the biggest conflict that humans experience on a daily basis is the need to remain consistent with how they choose to identify themselves.
She's a little bit younger than I am, right? So obviously there may be a little bit of experience, of life experience, but she's on the right track, right? When we're talking about your identity, we started creating who we are, and we start creating our identity as we get older and as we go through more and more years of experience. So of course, what you've experienced in your 20s, can it help dictate your future? Absolutely. But is it the end all be all? Absolutely not. Because in your 20s, you're still discovering who you are. You're still trying to figure it all out. You're probably just learning to live on your own for the first time, doing your adulting. And you may or may not have children. You may or may not be married. So there's a lot to learn on all these steps all along the way. Let's see what else she says.
And that need to remain consistent is usually what forces people to stay stuck in how they've always been. I'm
going to disagree with her here a little bit. When we're talking about consistency, now consistency is staying true to who you are. Being consistent is important to have the outcome that you have. You don't want to be a maverick and decide today, hey, I'm going to do real estate. Tomorrow I'm going to be a truck driver. Tomorrow I'm going to do construction. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be like this IT guru. You don't want to be in different directions. So this is where I differ with her. Consistency is important in terms of making sure that you align with your purpose and your goal, and then you stay consistent to achieve that goal. Now, when we're talking about identity, we got to have the malleability to say, yes, I am not that person who I was last year, last week, whatever, 10 years ago. I'm not that person in my 20s. I'm a different person now. However, I'm not going to let that dictate me to becoming who I am going to be in the future. But the consistency to keep on turning yourself inside and out, consistently to keep on showing up, is going to make that difference.
So much peace and beauty in knowing that just because you did something one way for a long period of time doesn't mean you have to keep doing it that way. You don't have to just manage your day-to-day, manage your circumstances. You can actually be the creator of your own life.
I think she's convoluting two different concepts. Being the creator of your own life has to do with some consistent mindset thoughts, meaning that you're going to be the one that's going to say, okay, I'm going to do this no matter what. If you think about running down the road and maybe you're going against traffic and there's all these cars coming at you and you're trying to get from point A to point B, yes, you're going to need to kind of get around certain things and maybe even jump over and maneuver around certain obstacles. However, the goal is always in mind. And that's where I think I differ from what she's saying, because the consistency is important and you have to stay focused on where your goal is going.
And when that really clicked for me, I started to get excited about living again. The Sunday scaries started to go away. I just got really excited about the future, and I want you to know that the same thing can happen for you. I'm telling you, if you're feeling stuck in your life right now, do something differently. change something, make a power move. You deserve a life on your terms. You deserve a life that you're freaking obsessed
I
with.
will leave with this. It's true. If you want a different result, you have to do something different. I said before that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And I think that's what she's talking about. She's talking about having a different result, but there's a consistency that stays within that. You don't let your past dictate who you are in the future, but rather you keep your eyes focused on where you want to go and you steer the wheel to that point and you stay focused and you stay consistent and you never let something take you off your square to get to that point. And I think that that's where we differ in opinion when she's trying to say, just do whatever and just to live your life. No, it needs to be, you stay focused on where you want to go and you don't lose sight of where you want to go.
And I'm built different, period. I rarely go out, and I always felt like if other cats was out partying and I was home studying, I would have an edge. But like, I'm literally like, all right, I will party later. I work hard now, so the second half of my life, I can do whatever the fuck I want.
I wish that I learned this at an early age. I was the exact opposite of this. I was the guy that was partying. I was the guy that was hanging out. I was the guy that had to be in the mix. Not that it was a regret, because I enjoyed it. But if I could do anything all over again, I would do that. I would take my time, understanding that I had plenty of time to party. I would have plenty of time to do all those things as long as I stayed focused and kept my eyes on the prize. And I think that that's, one of the hard lessons that I had to learn in life. It's like I wanted to be in every single session. I wanted to be in every single club. I wanted to do all those things, but I wasn't built that way to be that focused and that determined and then be able to say yes later on. I'll be able to enjoy the fruits of my labor. Plant the seeds today so I can enjoy my fruits of my labor tomorrow. I learned that the hard way, and then eventually I ended up getting on this train and I actually corrected it and was able to do those things, and that's when I was able to attain the wealth that I wanted to attain over time, because I was able to focus in and I honed myself down and focused and made sure that I didn't let any of those distractions take me away from my goal.
That's been my mentality. It's like, I'm not going to trick off my early years for partying and then worry about struggling, how I'm going to make it, how I'm going to take care of my family, how I'm going to take care of everybody else. Like, that's not going to be me. I'm going to grind it out now. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to set up the foundation so I can enjoy myself later. That's always been my mentality.
He's talking about breaking generational curses. And I don't want you guys to step over this because this is very important. Like, part of mindset is breaking those generation curses, that hypnosis, that generational hypnosis that we've been under, where we party and then we do this for now. And we've become a society that we want instant gratification. Rather, we will refrain from getting that instant gratification today in order to reap the fruits of our labor tomorrow. And that's where we need to kind of focus in on. When you're trying to achieve any goal, you got to think about what's more important. Is it more important to go to that party? Is it more important to be in places that are going to take energy away from you? Or is it more important that you go ahead and focus in and get to your goal?
If the lion is the king of the jungle, how can he be the king of the jungle? If he's not the biggest, the elephant is probably one of the biggest. He can't be the fastest because that's a cheetah. He can't be the smartest. So he's not the biggest, the fastest, or the smartest. So how does a lion become the king of the jungle? His mentality. That's the only difference of a lion and an elephant.
This is true. It's all about your mentality. I've seen people who are weaker or who are not as skilled and who are not as smart and who should not be the apex of their game and outbeating other people. And I tell you this time and time again, it has to do with the mentality, how much heart they give it. They don't let the obstacle become the precursor to the result. They see beyond the obstacle, they focus on the result. And that's what's gonna get you through this. I 100% agree with what this guy's saying.
Bro, you gotta fucking stop. You gotta stop with all this I can't catch a break bullshit. All the time you're complaining, you could be instead hustling. You could be instead chasing your dream. You could be instead figuring out what you're doing wrong, trying to improve certain aspects of your life, getting your shit together, reading a book, meditating, something. Fucking something.
I remember when I first started out, I came from very humble beginnings. And one of the first things I had to do was I would lock myself in my room. I would lock myself with books. I would lock myself with meditation tapes. I would lock myself with things, and I would separate myself from those people that would be like the negative Nancys. They would be the ones that tell me I couldn't do it. They would be the ones that would tell me that, oh, why are you wasting your time doing that? Just come do this, do that with me. And they would say, you're not going to achieve what you want to achieve. And I had to take their negative attitude and I turned it into fuel. It gave me more of a burning desire. It gave me more fuel to get to where I wanted to go. And also importantly, it also let me know that soon those people who have been in my lives, and some of them were family members that were in my lives for years, I had to let them go and love them from a distance.
I'm no better than none of y'all. I'm not a better person than you. I'm not a better Christian than you. God don't love me more than you. None of that. If you want to be successful, you have to change this. This has to change.
I would say that that's so true. Directly resulting any type of success, you got to think it before it actually becomes to fruition. So I have a saying that you got to see it before you see it, or else you won't see it manifest. And so exactly what Steve Harvey's saying right here is that you got to think it before you see it manifest and believe that it can manifest.
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're...
If anybody tells you that it's gonna be easy, whatever you're doing, whether it's real estate, whether it's life insurance, whether it's starting your own business, they're lying to you. Because you're gonna get hit in the chin so many times. You're gonna get sucker punched so many times. Sometimes you're gonna get hit in the ribs and in the chin, and you still gotta get up. You're gonna be tired. You're gonna be exhausted. You're gonna wanna give up, and you still gotta get up. Because when you go and you cross that finish line, dragging yourself across that finish line and being frustrated, tired, and thinking you can't make it, that celebration is gonna be that much more for you when that happens.
Yeah, discipline equals freedom. That's it. I mean, if you have the discipline to get up and get the things done.
But it's so difficult for people to do.
Discipline also talks to your conviction and what you're committed to. So either you're going to be committed to getting the result that you want, or you're going to be committed to and disciplined to your excuses. It's a simple choice. It's very black and white. I agree with everything that they're saying in this video.
You need to fucking work harder. You need to fucking discipline your mind better.
You can't cheat yourself, man. Stop expecting results that you know you didn't work for.
You gotta fucking stop. You gotta stop with all this I can't catch a break bullshit. All the time you're complaining, you could be instead hustling.
If you do the work consistently, 10 years of motherfucking work is gonna pay off.
Seize this very minute what you can do, or even dream you can do, and begin it.
These are all the greats here that was speaking. And I'll tell you this much, it's the same theme over and over again. Being consistent, making sure that you shift your mind, seeing and keeping your eyes on the prize, and knowing that tomorrow will bring you your results. You're putting the seeds in today to get the fruits for tomorrow. Make sure that your commitment and your consistency and your dedication is to where you want to go and not to your excuses. Comment below which was your favorite video, what were your thoughts, and let me know. Hope to see you in the next video.